Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Full Sail University. I am very honored, and my name is Sean Reinhardt. I'm a course director in portfolio content creation in the 3D arts. And it is a very surreal moment for me to stand up here and introduce Bill Plympton.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Can you hear me okay? It's good? Okay. Wow, this is very exciting to be here. I'm actually here for the Florida Film Festival at the Enzian Cinema. They showed one of my films last night. It had a big crowd. It was a packed house just like this, so that was very cool. I think you're going to have a wonderful afternoon today. You're going to see some of my new films, some projects that nobody has seen before. I'm going to do some drawings for you, show you how I draw, which I think is very important. I'm going to talk about my career as an independent animator, how I survive, how I make money doing animated cartoons. And then everybody here, you probably think I'm crazy. Everybody here gets a cartoon, a sketch. I have postcards down here, and I'll do a drawing of my dog for you. So come up and check that out. Also, I have some DVDs and a book here for sale if you are interested in that. And then also I'll be doing Q&A too. So if you have any questions about how I survive or about my life or my career, I'm happy to answer that. I'm basically here for you. So if I'm not covering the information you want to hear, yell out, Bill, what about this? You know, I want to make sure you have a good time and you'll learn something here this afternoon. So you know what, let's start off with a film. Stuart, you want to start off with the first film? Just to get you in the mood here. This is called Waiting for Her Sailor. I wanted to show that film because it's really the perfect Bill Plympton film. And I'll talk about this later. I have what's called Plympton's Dogma, and these are my 3 rules to make a film that makes money. And this film was like the perfect style of film to make money. This is a big hit all over the world, very big success. It's 30 seconds long, but people love it. I don't know why. Anyway, let me tell you about my story. I'm from Oregon, Portland, Oregon, actually. And yeah, some Oregonians. And you know, it's a weird place. It's a lot of rain. It's kind of the opposite of Florida here. And it does weird things to your head, all this rain coming down all the time. And so consequently, there's a lot of psychopathic murders from Oregon. People like Ted Bundy, Gary Gilmore, Tanya Harding. But also, it breeds a lot of cartoonists. Brad Bird, Matt Groening, Bill Plympton. They come out of this because I spent all my time indoors drawing. And that's what I love to do, was draw every day. And it was because of that I had this wonderful ambition to be an animator. At a very early age, I watched Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Disney. I love goofy cartoons. Those are my favorite cartoons. So very early age, I wanted to be an animator. However, when I graduated from college, this was in late 60s, animation was dead. There was really nothing going on except Hanna-Barbera, and I hated that crap. That to me wasn't animation. So what I did was I moved to New York City and I became an illustrator. I did caricatures, I did political cartoons, I did gag cartoons, and I did illustrations for a lot of very prestigious magazines, Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone, all the men's magazines, Playboy, Penthouse, and that's how I made a living. But deep down, I still wanted to be an animator. That was my true goal, to see my cartoons move. And I'm going to do a drawing for you. Let's hope we can project this. This is about 1985. I did a cartoon about a guy. His head was shaped like this. Can you see this? Is it projecting? Okay, good. And he was a very boring guy. And he sang a song called Your Face. And while he was singing this song, his face mutated, went into very strange shapes, and it's about 3 minutes long. And I just thought it was kind of a throwaway cartoon, you know, just something, a whimsical kind of goofball film. And the first screening I went to was in New York, and this was at a CIFA organization competition. So in the audience were some of the greatest animators from New York, R.O. Bleckman and Michael Sporn and George Griffin, people like this, people who are really very big in animation. And I was this nobody. I was this illustrator guy. So I sat in the back row, and I kind of hid my face because it was such a stupid film. And 3 seconds into the film, people started laughing. I went, oh my God, this is what I waited my whole life for, to hear people laugh at my drawings. Because when I was a caricature artist or a cartoonist, I never heard that response simply because it was in magazines and newspapers, and I never got that love from the audience. And so when this film played, Your Face, everybody was laughing throughout the whole film. I thought, geez, this is great. And then after the film was screened, they all came up to me and said, are you Bill Plympton? Did you make that film? And I said, yeah, that's me. He said, wow, let's go out and have a drink. Let's talk about animation. Let's talk about art. And it's the first time I really felt like I'm home. You know, this is where I belong. This is where I should have been. And I just walked on air walking home that night. I just felt like, you know, I'd finally made it. And the next day, I called up all my print magazines. I said, I'm quitting print. I'm going into animation. And they said, are you nuts? Nobody makes money in animation. It's dead. It's a dying art form. You can't make a living in animation. I said, no, I think I can. And Your Face went on to get an Oscar nomination. I did 25 Ways to Quit Smoking, One of Those Days, How to Kiss, and they were all big successes. MTV bought them. They were sold all over Europe, and I was making money doing animation. And so I didn't really have a plan to make a career out of independent animation. I thought I'd work in a big studio or something like that, but it just happened. It just worked out that way. And I've been doing it ever since then. This was 85, 86. I've been doing it ever since then. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about this is the finished drawing of Your Face. Waiting for Her Sailor. That one was actually storyboarded back in 1999. And I don't know if you remember or not, but around 1998, 97, there was a big boom in internet animation. A lot of money was being just thrown at the internet. And so some people asked me to do a bunch of Flash animations. And so I did, I think 30 of them. I did, because I had a lot of gag ideas left over from when I was doing cartoons for magazines. And so around 1999, I forget when, it just collapsed. The bubble burst, and all the money disappeared. And so I still had this idea, and I ran into it about a year ago, and I thought, this is still a funny idea. I should do it. So I just did it, Waiting for Her Sailor, about a few months ago, and it's, like I said, it's been very popular. But anyway, I'll continue with my saga. So around 1990, I put together all my short films on a VHS cassette, a video cassette. And I realized that it's about an hour's worth of film. And I said, geez, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've done a feature film without even, trying to do that. And so it dawned on me, hey, why not just do a real animated feature film? So I got together with Maureen McKelleran, who is a wonderful musician, friend of mine. We were in a band together, actually. And I said, Maureen, let's do a Yellow Submarine, but for American music, American roots music, Delta blues, rockabilly, surfing music, jazz, that kind of stuff. The music, country music, the kind of music I loved growing up. So we put together a script, a storyboard, a script. We tried to sell it to a few producers. Nobody wanted to touch it. I mean, the budget was really low, but nobody wanted to touch it. I think it wasn't necessarily for kids was a problem. Also, it was done by Bill Plympton. Nobody knew who Bill Plympton was. So we consequently funded it ourselves. I did some commercials. All the commercial money went into the making of the film. I sold some shorts to MTV and the Tourney of Animation. And so that money funded the feature film. It's called The Tune. And although it wasn't a financial success, it was a critical success. We had great reviews. It was a big success on video cassette. It did very well. In fact, it's still available on DVD now, and it's still selling very well. A lot of people really love it. And you have to realize this is in 1991. Nobody was doing feature films by themselves at that point. It was all Disney and who was around then? Not many people. Mostly Disney. I think DreamWorks had started around then. But for a single person to do an animated feature film was unheard of. I did all the drawings myself, about 30,000 drawings. And so now, of course, it's commonplace. Everybody's working on a feature film at home, doing it on their laptop or whatever. And I think that is so cool that everything's opened up now. Because of the internet, anybody can make a feature film. Anybody can make a short film. There's no studios you have to beg to, or no big distribution company or big sales agent. You can make it on your own and get it out there by yourself. And that's what I'll be talking about this whole afternoon, I think, is the freedom now, the independence now that is available for young artists. And I think it's a really momentous occasion and a very exciting time to be an animator. And that's why I think Full Sail is so cool, that they're making animation the art form that I love, the art form that I believe in. And everybody in the world loves animation. And so this is the place to start. Let's look at another film. This is well, let me set this one up. It's called The Cow Who Wanted to Be a Hamburger. And a lot of people ask me where I get my ideas, and I think that's a very valid question. Ideas come anywhere. I usually carry around, or I always carry around, a little notebook that I write down ideas. In fact, I had an idea on the way over here. On one of the roads, I don't know what road it is, but I saw a bunch of flowers on the street corner. And I thought, gee, this must be a great little village. They got flowers on these street corners everywhere. And then I realized, oh my God, someone died here. Someone got drunk, got run over. And I thought that's kind of sick, kind of a sick joke that this city has flowers everywhere, but really it's because everybody's dead. I thought I could make a film about it. And that's where a lot of my ideas come from, just seeing things that don't make sense, seeing things that are curious or mysterious. And now I'm going to show you what I call Plympton's dogma. And these are my 3 rules for success in animation. So it's called Plympton's dogma. Rule number 1 is make your film short. And when I say short, I mean about 5 minutes. If you want to make a 15-minute film or a 20-minute film, go ahead, but it's really not going to sell anywhere. I judge a lot of festivals, and when I see a 15-minute film or a 20-minute film, already I don't want to see that film. Because if that's a bad film, I'm stuck 20 minutes watching a piece of crap. But if it's a 5-minute film, okay, I can sit through 5 minutes of bad filmmaking. But a 20-minute film is impossible. Nobody wants to buy a 20-minute film. TV stations don't want it. It's hard to program. Film festivals don't like it because it takes up all their space. Internet, it's too long for the internet. It's just really, movie theaters don't want it. They don't have room for a feature to put in there. It's just really impossible to sell. So please don't make a 20-minute film. Keep it around to about 5 minutes, 5 minutes or less. Should have gone over there. Cheap. Make your film cheap. Mine are about $1,000 a minute. The Cow Who Wanted to Be a Hamburger costs about $5,000, and it's about a 5-minute long film. If you're selling your film and you get a couple $1,000s for it here and there, and it costs $20,000, you're going to lose money on it. There's no way you can make a profit on it. But if it costs only $5,000 and you make $10,000, $15,000, then you're going to show a profit. So if you want to use a lot of expensive technology and CG and Maya and hire a lot of people to do your shading and all that stuff, you're going to lose money on it. It's not going to pay off. Or if you hire a big name voice or a big piece of music from Sinatra or Presley, you'll never make your money back because you spent it all on the music. So you got to cut corners. Now for my films, I do a lot of the jobs myself. I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm the writer, I'm the character designer, I do the layouts, the storyboards, I do the backgrounds, I do sometimes I do the sound. And so I do as many jobs as I can. That way I don't have to hire a lot of people. Right now my studio is about 10 people, and they're all doing coloring and compositing and that kind of thing. So it keeps my budgets really low, much lower than like a Pixar or a DreamWorks or something like that. And number 3 is make your film funny. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't write the rules. It just seems to me that if you want to sell a film, if it's funny, you're going to sell it to everybody. If you want to make an abstract film or a political commentary or bare your soul to the screen, go ahead, but nobody's going to want to show it. No one's going to want to buy it. Maybe your folks will like it, but that's about it. If you make a funny film, everybody wants to see it. You look on YouTube. What are the top films on YouTube? They're all cats falling out of trees and people crashing on their skateboards. They're funny films. That's what people want to see. And I'm lucky because I like making funny films. I enjoy making people laugh, and that's what I love to do. So that's the reason for the short, cheap, and funny. It's funny, I look at this, short, cheap, and funny, that kind of describes my girlfriends. No, that's a bad joke. That's a very bad joke. Let me give you an example. I was nominated for an Oscar for Guard Dog back in 2005. And I was up against a film from Canada called Ryan by Chris Landreth. And his film it's a wonderful film. If you've seen it, it's a wonderful film. But it broke every one of my rules. It was 17 minutes long. It cost about $1 million to make. And it wasn't funny. It was a serious kind of animated documentary about a Canadian animator who went crazy and became a drug addict. And he won the Oscar. And you know what? He deserved to win the Oscar. It's a much better film than Guard Dog. It's way ahead of my film. But that film will never show a profit. But that's okay. It's a Canadian film. They don't care. They don't want the money. Win your prizes. That's all we care about. I need the money. If I'm going to keep my studio going, if I'm going to pay my employees, I need to make a profit. So that's why I make films that are short, cheap, and funny. That first film, Waiting for Her Sailor, huge success, really profitable. And the Cow film also was a very big success. So those are my 3 rules for having a successful film. If you want to have no dialogue, that helps a little bit too. If you put a lot of dialogue in your film, It makes it harder to sell overseas. But these are essentially the main rules. Okay, you ready to show another one? This is actually another example of short, cheap, and funny, of Plympton's Dogma. This is called Summer Bummer. It was a film I did for Showtime, actually. So here we go. Thank you. You probably all saw that coming anyway, right? I got so excited about talking about my dogma, I forgot to show you how I designed my characters. I'll talk about the cow film. The cow is a very simple character design. It's basically a square, something like this, with a mouth like that, couple of horns, ears. And a tail. And that's it. I mean, it's really a simple design. And I think it's so important that when you design your characters, you keep the design very basic, very simple. Let me tell you why. Because if you're doing animation, and I'm talking about traditional animation here, but even CG animation, you're going to be doing the character over and over and over again. You really want to get it to its essentials. You really want to boil it down to a very easily identifiable shape. And that's the secret to great animation. If you put a lot of checkerboard shirts and jewelry and hair coming out everywhere, and it gets distracting. It's hard to really identify with the character. And so the simplicity of the character design is so important for the character to read, for the audience to get the character. Now, for the cow, the film, I actually usually had some shadow here, but the markers will run out of black if I put it all in, but it's basically something like this. Also, the drawings themselves, I didn't bring any drawings from the cow film, but they're basically Sharpie on paper, and it's very small. The field guide was this big. It's very, very small size. So the black line became very, very thick, and it vibrated a lot, and I love that. The original idea was to make a children's kind of story out of the cow. And I went to a gallery exhibition at the Guggenheim, and they had an exhibition of Vasily Kandinsky. And they showed some of his children's book illustrations, and he did big fields of black and big fields of white, and then in between put these vibrant, bright colors. And the colors just sang because of the black and white. And you'll notice I kind of stole his idea for the cow wanted to be a hamburger. That's why the colors are so rich and the colors are so I don't know, so eye-catching. It's because of the black and white. So that was one reason the film was such a big success. Let me put this guy in here. You'll notice I can't stop drawing. It's a disease with me. Let's try something else. I'm going to change the program here. I'm going to show you something. This is actually another Sharpie film. I didn't have planned to show it, but I think you might enjoy it. It's called Tiffany the Whale, and this was also something I did a long time ago. When I was a gag cartoonist, I tried to sell this as a comic strip, and nobody bought it. Nobody liked it. It's a bad idea, I guess. But now that I'm doing animation, I found it. I discovered it. I thought, oh, this could be a really cool animated cartoon for TV or for the internet, kind of a series, a long series. And what you're going to see is a pilot. So the pilot doesn't really start at the beginning because the beginning is a very different character. So what happens is this little whale sees his mother killed by Japanese whalers, and in the sadness, Tiffany falls in love with a male model. They're shooting on a boat in the Caribbean, and she sees this male model. He falls in the water, falls in the ocean, and just immediately she falls in love with him. And so his name is Conrad, and he moves. They go back to New York City, and so Tiffany follows him to New York City, and the only way she can re-meet Conrad, because she's in love with him, is to also become a high fashion model, which obviously is not so easy for a whale. So that's the basic concept. So here we go with a pilot for Tiffany the Whale.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere of Count Ultro's new line. And inside, everyone's here. Editors, critics, movie stars, photographers, and hockey players. The talk of the town is top model Pilar and her rivalry with controversial newcomer Tiffany.
Well, call me Ishmael. We meet again, Tiffany. Hi, Pilar. It's nice to see you too. All of you.
Look, I really like you. I admire you, and I don't know why you don't like me.
Would you like a glass of champagne? It seems like you have a couple nerves before you walk down the runway.
I've actually never had alcohol before. Is that
Really?
is that what all the models do before the show?
Wait, so that's not a beer gut you're sporting? Are you preggers? Did someone actually get a ladder, climb on top of you, and get you preggers?
To be honest, you kind of just look like a pile of dust kind of formed into a broom thing.
Oh my God. I feel so bad. I mean, all this time I've just been making fun of you, and now you just gave me the best compliment anyone's ever given. I really look like a broom to you? Oh, Tiffany, that's so sweet. If I had 100 more arms to attach to my arms, I would hug you. But hugging you now would just be making a T against your wall of a body.
Ow.
Seriously.
Okay, I thought we were going to be friends for a second. I really thought you were serious about this.
Ha, friends? I don't have room in my calendar for a friend as big as you. Listen, Tiffany, you and people like you have no place in the world of modeling.
Come on, girls, stop your bickering. We have a show to do. Tiffany, try this dress on. It's my pièce de résistance.
Soon it's gonna be in pieces on the floor when she rips it.
Okay, I'm going to get into the dress and I am going to look fabulous.
Should I help by getting the Crisco to squeeze you into it, Tiffany?
Okay, I'm not going to rip it. I am going to own it.
You're gonna have to own it, because once you rip something, you break it, you buy it. So you'll be purchasing the stage, the sidewalk later, probably most of the Northwestern Hemisphere.
Here, put on your shoes, and the ensemble is complete.
Are they 12-inch stilettos, did you say?
Not the 12-inch stilettos. Those are killers. Do you know how many models we've lost on those?
Okay, I'll take the 20. I'll take the 20
By
inch.
20, she means she'll take the 20-piece bucket of KFC chicken.
Okay, whales
We're
don't
not
eat
at a
chicken. Whales
restaurant.
don't eat chicken. Okay, you're just being ignorant.
You're never gonna fit in. You're never gonna get Conrad. You're never gonna have tiny, tiny rib bumps where tits are supposed to be. You are never gonna be a model.
Now appearing on the catwalk, Count Ultra's top model, Pilar.
Oh gosh, I can't compete with Pilar. What am I thinking? She's a hypermodel.
You're going out there a whale, but you're coming back a star. You're on, baby.
How come no one's cheering? Am I hideous? They hate me. My gown must be unzipped, or I didn't wear underpants, or... Of course I wore underpants. You were raised right, Tiffany. Maybe the colors clash with my hide. What about the shoes? No, it can't be the shoes. It's never the shoes' fault. Oh God. Count Ultra's entire season is gonna be ruined, and it's going to be all my fault, and I'll never reunite with my beloved Conrad. That seems so long ago now. After my mother was killed by those evil whalers. And then I found my Conrad and followed him to the big city. But Pilar said he only dates models. So I became a model worthy of my Conrad. This sure is a quiet audience. Wait, maybe this is a good kind of silence. They must be stunned by the beauty of my gown and my inner light, and they're holding their collective breath at such a bold and innovative experience. In their minds, they're saying, Tiffany, more like Epiphany. What's that smell? Oh, it's so familiar and tasty. Why is my mouth filling up with so much saliva? What's that at the end of the runway? What is that? Oh, no. Oh, they like me. They really, really like me. I'm a success, gosh darn it. Oh, and yet, I'm strangely drawn to that bucket. I must go to it. But why? It's a wonderful aroma, sure, but... Oh, it's krill. My kryptonite. I must have it now. It's been so long. Oh, this powerful urge is forcing me to run to the krill, even past my beloved Conrad. Oh, I must see Conrad. No, krill. No, Conrad. Yes, krill. No, Conrad. Krill. But how did it get there? Who could have put it there? Oh no, I'm running. It's not such a good idea. No. Oh God. Oh, my 20-inch stilettos are making it too difficult to run. I don't care. I need my krill. Oh no, I'm slipping. It's happening. No, stopping it now. Well, I hope the dress looks good at this angle. too bad it's such an overbooked audience. They're trapped in their seats. They're gonna die. Oh, what a thrill, even in an oil spill, you can have krill. Put on a smile and it'll fill up your belly. It may be sorta smelly to others. Krill, krill, krill doesn't take any skill just to eat some krill, and the calories are low. You gotta have krill, 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 krill.
Very much. Thank you. So that's Tiffany the Whale. Again, she's a very simply designed character. Oops. Basically, it's just a kind of teardrop shape with a little mouth in there and a couple of fins, and that's about it, really. Then I do her belly and the teeth, although they don't have teeth. I forget what they call those things. And that's it. That's Tiffany the Whale. Very easy to design. And then here's Pilar. And that's why I did it for television or the internet. We don't know where we're going to sell it. Quite frankly, I'm so busy trying to finish the feature, I haven't really started selling Tiffany the Whale. I do have Tiffany cards here, by the way. If you do want a drawing of Tiffany, I can draw Tiffany for you also. But we're hoping to sell it to one of the big TV stations, HBO or someone like that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if not, I'll probably just run it on as a series on the internet and make some money that way. The times are so great right now for TV animation. It just seems like every channel now has their own TV series. I love Archer, I love SpongeBob, I love Adventure Time. I mean, there's so many great animation shows on now. It's really a wonderful opportunity to design and create a TV series or a TV character. So I definitely would pursue that if I were you. Let me give an example. If I was coming out of school now, obviously when I came out, it was a lot different situation. Here's what I would do. I would get a job at some sort of company that does animation-related products, whether it's an advertising agency, a TV show, an internet company, a design studio, or even Pixar, DreamWorks, or someone like that. And then you build up, you put some money in the bank, you build up a stockpile of ideas, you make a lot of connections with people in the business, which is very important. It's so important that you know people in the business. That's why you should definitely hang out at the Florida Film Festival, Enzian. A lot of distributors are there, a lot of filmmakers are there, a lot of producers, promoters, press. It's really great to have people in the business. I can't tell you how important that is. And also, if you can learn all the programs, all the current programs, it's really important to know that. And then after 6 or 7, 8 years, you feel confident, like you're ready to give it a shot. Then start making these films and send them out to festivals. So let's say you make a film. Let me sign this first. Let's say you make a film that's short, cheap, and funny. I'll toss this to you. And you want to sell it. Where do you go to sell it? I went to the first year I did Your Face, I went to Annecy. It's a festival in France. And I made a lot of money there through sales of the film. So let me give you a list of festivals that I think are good festivals to make sales. Say you make this short film and it's cheap and funny. I would first of all go to the Oscars. And there are student Oscars and normal Oscars. You're eligible for both. And you should definitely enter. It's very democratic. Anybody can enter. And believe me, I judge some of those films, and some of them are really bad. So don't feel like your film, oh, it's not Oscar quality. You never know. I mean, there's so many bad films there. Your film could be the cream of the crop and get nomination. If you get nominated for an Oscar, you're set for life. You're going to have press people wanting to talk to you. You're going to have distributors wanting to talk to you. Producers want to talk to you. Pixar, DreamWorks. Jeffrey Katzenberg is going to invite you over to his place for dinner. Believe me, if you get nominated for an Oscar, you're set for life. Number 2 is the Cannes Festival. They also accept student films. They'll take any film that they think is entertaining. This is sort of the European version of the Oscars. If you get to Cannes, you'll be made and you'll be selling films all over Europe. You'll be making tons of money. Number 3 is Sundance. Sundance has a animation program. And they choose animation from all over the world. And a lot of student films have been in the Sundance Festival, and they're really nice films. So definitely check out Sundance. And also go to Sundance. Even if you're not, maybe your film doesn't get in, you should definitely go just to network. And then this is my favorite festival. It's Annecy. I'm going next month. How many people know of Annecy? Anybody? That's good. It's this beautiful medieval French village in the French Alps with a crystal clear lake and the French Alps there, and swans are swimming down Main Street to these little canals, and food is great, and you're sitting there eating dinner, and next to you is Nick Park or Tim Burton or Bill Plympton, and you just start talking to them, say, hey, how you doing? Loved your film. You know, it's a very casual atmosphere. People are very friendly. People love animation. And the French audiences are particularly vociferous. If they don't like your film, they will throw things at you and yell at you and make fun of you. But if they love your film, you're like a god. I mean, I go there every year. I love the French audiences. They really know animation. In fact, they're doing great things with animation right now, and it's one of my favorite festivals. If you just get into Annecy, in fact, the film that I'm showing last tonight just got into Annecy. We're going to make a lot of sales on it just by being in competition in Annecy. Now, there's a lot of other festivals here. One of them is Clermont-Ferrand. You can go on to Without a Box, and they will list all the festivals there are in the world. There's thousands of them, thousands of festivals. There's festivals for films about dogs. There's a festival in Scandinavia about pain. If you have a film that's very painful, send it to Scandinavia. They'll love it. Clermont-Ferrand is only for shorts. So they have live action and animation. But it's such an important festival. They get huge audiences. It's in the middle of France. It's an ugly town, actually, an ugly town in France. And they have huge, like 2,000-seat cinemas, and they're packed all day long watching short films. I've never seen anything like it. It's really crazy. And it's a huge market. Everybody from all over the world comes there to buy films for their TV stations or their movie theaters or whatever. And even though I will send a film there and may not get in to be screened, it'll be in their library. And I've made sales just because it was in their library. They call it a bibliothèque. And so everybody's buying. Everybody has money to spend for their films. So check out a lot of American festivals, wonderful American festivals. The Florida Film Festival, one of my favorites. I've been coming here for about 20 years, I think. It's really a great festival. They have great programming, a lot of celebrities. Tippi Hedren's there this week, and Zoe Bell, the stunt woman from Australia. And I recommend Martha's Vineyard Festival is a great festival, Woodstock, South by Southwest, Tribeca, Seattle Festival is a great festival. There's literally hundreds and thousands of festivals all over the world, and so go it's called Without a Box, and they list all the film festivals and their deadlines. Now, a lot of them, especially Americans, ask for a fee to send your film in. And sometimes that can be kind of expensive. So you have to be very discriminatory as to which festivals you want to send it to. Most of the European festivals are free. So you probably want to send it to the European festivals if you want to save some money. But if there are a few festivals in America that are worth it, South by Southwest, Tribeca, Seattle, AFM, or AFI rather, AFI. So there's some wonderful festivals here in the U.S. that are really important. Aspen Shorts Festival is a great festival. Palm Springs Short Festival is a great festival. So definitely check that out. Okay, now I'm going to show you a film I'm really excited about. This is my new feature film. It's not done yet, so I'm going to show you just the beginning of it, which should be done in about 3 or 4 months. So we're shooting for Toronto, the Toronto International Festival. The deadline is in June 1st. But I think you'll like the technique here. This is, it's all hand-drawn. I did every drawing. There's about 40,000 drawings in the film. And it's colored digitally to look like watercolor. It's kind of a watercolor look, but it's all hand-drawn, pencil on paper. I really kind of let loose on this. I just kind of, just drew the characters exactly the way I wanted them drawn. So it's a very special film. The music is also by Nicole Renaud. And we're going to show the beginning of the film. What happens is this couple meets, they fall madly in love, and outsiders are so jealous of their perfect romance, they try to break them up. And consequently, the couple becomes suspicious of each other, and then they try to kill each other. So it's a perfect Plympton comedy. So here we go with Cheatin'.
Letting the scenery race by, erasing the city behind, unfurling quietly my mind while the train hums a lullaby. Letting flamboyant burning skies sprinkle on my face and you smile. As the day fades in autumn night, I watch the trees in the sun's eyes. I send you sunlight, je t'envoie du rouge. I send you some love, une pensée d'amour. I too will let my head recline. I too will let you make me shine. Your love will shimmer in my eyes. Your thoughts will glitter through my rhymes. As well I will erase the line that separates your lips from mine. For a moment in autumn light, as to the trees in the sun's arms, I send you some
And we're going to stop there just to show a sample. Thank you. I forgot to mention that the sound is not done yet, and the music is temp music. And of course, you saw some of the pencil test in there too, which I think is pretty cool that you get to see the pencil test, which are really my drawings. But let me do a drawing of Ella. Her name is Ella, the heroine of the film. And Jake is the guy she falls in love with. Obviously, you saw that where their electricity connected when they met. So Ella is so much fun to draw. She's got that big wide brim hat. By the way, I can't do Ella for your card simply because she's too hard to draw. She's too complicated, a lot of detail. But I will do the cow and I will do the dog. And she's got a nice ribbon coming from her hair. And one of the great things about these characters are the shadows. The shadows really define the mass and the volume of these characters and the personality too. So it's really fun to put the shadows in there. So it's something like this. And then I go in and do all the shadows, and it really is it's fun to do the shadows. I love doing shadows. You know, even though I may draw like 10 hours a day, sometimes I'll still go to drawing class, life drawing class, simply because it's just fun to do. It's really It's really such a pleasurable experience. And I think that's the kind of attitude you have to have. If you want to be an animator, you have to love to draw. That's the important thing. You're not in it to be a rock star rich, I hope. You're there because you're doing what you love to do. And I love drawing, and I'm not rich. I'm not John Lasseter kind of rich, but I'm doing what I love to do, and that's the important thing. I'm making films that are fun to make. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's Ella. And what happens in the end is, actually there's a lot of violence in the film and a little bit of sex too, but no one dies. No one really gets killed. So it's still kind of a romantic love story comedy. I think I have time. Let me do one more. I'm going to do Jake for you. Jake is the love interest. Oh, I'll get that. Now, Jake is not really classically handsome. He's kind of like animalistic handsome. He's kind of like Marlon Brando. That's how I sort of designed him. And, it's really important also when you do your design your characters, draw them a lot. I draw them 100, 200, sometimes 300 times before I really feel like I'm comfortable with their design. And even when I'm making the film, halfway through, I'll think of ways to streamline the character or to make the characters more important or more interesting to look at. And that naturally happens. There's nothing you can do about that. But, he's got a big nose, tiny eyes, low forehead, big cheekbones. It's really important to study anatomy. I think that anatomy is so important. I mean, simply because even though this isn't really true anatomy, it has some reality in there. But it's I take the anatomy and I exaggerate it and I play with the anatomy. I distort the anatomy, and that's why it's important that you know the anatomy. I love his pecs here. He's a very buff guy. I think that's why the girls like him, is because he's... And sometimes I just can't stop drawing. Sorry about that. I like to really work up the texture, work up the shadows, and a lot of the contour and details. I love doing that, and I find that the looser you get, that's why I like pencil. The looser you get, sometimes the more interesting it is. If you try to be too perfect with it, you lose the spontaneity and the naturalness of it. And so I really like to play around with the pencil and just kind of work it up. You don't need to go to art class to learn how to draw really well. A lot of times I'll just have a pad by my TV, and while I'm watching a movie on TV, I'll start drawing the characters, and that's a good exercise. Also, just waiting for a bus or, in a boring office waiting room, you can draw people or draw from photographs. I don't think you should draw from someone else's drawings. I get a lot of artists coming to me and all they can do is anime. It makes me want to vomit. It's just so disgusting that people, I'm glad they love anime, that they want to get an animation, but after seeing so many big eyes, I'm ready to just rip it up. So please, don't trace anime. Try to develop your own style, your own look, your own philosophy of drawing and animation. That's really the important part. That you have to be an individual. You have to look something. You have to be something special. And if you copy anime, you're not going to be something special. I'm going to close with a little story. When I was 12, 13, 14, something like that, I sent off a packet of my drawings to Disney Studios, hoping that they would recognize my great talent and hire me to be an animator to work at Disney Studios. I got a nice polite letter back saying, well, your work shows promise, you're too young, come back in 15 years or whatever. So I kind of forgot about that. And then after I got nominated for an Oscar with Your Face back in '87, I got a phone call from the Disney Studios, and they said, we're sending someone out to meet with you. And so this lawyer comes into my studio, suit and tie, big briefcase, walks in. He sits down on my couch and says, Walt Disney Studios wants to offer you $1 million to come work for us. I go, oh my God, this is my dream come true. This is my life's goal, is to work for Disney doing animation. What a great opportunity. But they say negotiating with Disney is not so much good cop, but bad cop, antichrist. And I think there's some truth to that because, for example, I said, yeah, God, this is great. I can work for Disney, and then can I make my weird little cartoons on the weekends? And they said, yeah, you can do that, but we will own those. I said, well, what if happens I tell someone a funny joke, a funny story? Well, Disney owns that. What if I have a dream? Well, that's ours. And so, I realized that this may not be such a great opportunity. I mean, they didn't tell me what they wanted me to work on. It could have been DuckTales or some insipid TV show. I was in the middle of doing the project, the feature film project that I was doing, and I had a studio set up and everything. And so I said no. I said no to my childhood dream. And sometimes I regret that. Sometimes I felt like maybe I should have taken up on that offer. I found out later, actually, they wanted me to do the Aladdin and Genie. The Genie in Aladdin, sorry. Which would have been a great opportunity. It would have been a great character. But I'm glad I did that. And I'm not begrudging Disney. I think Disney's a great studio. I wouldn't be here today without Disney. I go out and watch their film the day it opens. Every time Disney has a film, I'm there watching it because I love what they do. They do great stuff. But it's not for everybody. And I think this is a question you all have to decide, whether you want to work for the big studio or you want to be independent. And there's no right answer. You can do both, actually. That's not a problem. But there's something about waking up every morning, walking to my studio, and drawing whatever the hell I want, and nobody's going to say, no, you can't draw that, or that's a bad character. We don't want that. It's that freedom to make whatever the hell comes into my brain that I like and I'm addicted to, and that's it. That's it. Thank you.